Just had to, she needs to make a smaller one. It was a bit big, but it was lovely. So I'm very grateful for it, and it just shows that the crowd are behind us all. And if I can bring this home, then that'd be great. I'll be chuffed because it's been quite slow all week, really. So I'm hoping it'll go quick now.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Andy. Cheers, boys.
Thanks for your time. Thanks to everybody supporting us around the circuit.
I'm just here with John and James Saunders. Chris Kinley was just saying there that this morning seems like an eternity ago. How were you going this morning?
Yeah, we had a good start to the race. It was all going well. Yeah, we were enjoying it. So, yeah, it's been a bit of a long wait, but thanks to Gary and his team.
Yeah, we soon got into it, and I think we were sitting in top 10, so that's good for us. But yeah, just glad that Todd and Emmanuel are all okay.
And good crowds around there this morning?
Say again, sorry?
Good crowds around there this morning?
Yeah, a lot of people out today. Yeah, it's fantastic to see everybody out there enjoying the bit of sunshine that is there now, every now and again, isn't there? So, yeah.
Wonderful. We'll have a good one now.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
He's going to love this. Wayne Lockie. Hello, Wayne. Good to speak to you, Kay.
And you?
Talk us through. Everybody says to me, what does that mean on the side of the outfit? Be clean, dirty weekender. What is it? What's it all about?
It's a company that make camper vans and stuff and convert them. So it's check it out.
So it's like VW vans converted or the transits and stuff like that, yeah?
All sorts of vans, but yeah, mainly VWs. That's what it started off with, like, yeah.
Talk us through race one. Not good.
I can't remember it. It's ages ago.
This morning was ages ago, wasn't it? That race one the other day, I meant, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all right. Yeah, just steady away, like, yeah. It's we had a fret on the oil tank, so it went through the oil tank and blew us up. So we were going well, but one of them things.
What about the first run this morning? How was it?
Yeah, again, just not really settling in that well at the moment. Don't know why. We were, yeah, getting on it, but not 100%. You know, not yet.
The wind's dropped a little bit as well from this morning, isn't it?
Yeah, seems to have. Yeah, seems to have. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, good luck, mate. Cheers. Good luck. Thank you very much. Check them out. Dirty Weekender on Facebook, and careful what you click on. Beth, where are you?
I'm just here with Alan Founds. Alan, obviously getting set for this second run out today. How was it this morning? How are you and Reece doing?
Yeah, we have to kind of wind ourselves up again, don't we, and get ourselves going after the short pause. But as luck would have it, we've made a few changes going into this second race, so it wasn't quite pulling down Crosby, and it was a bit dozy on the gearing, so we made a few gearing alterations, and hopefully we've gone the right way with it, and we'll see how we go.
How's Reece feeling? Is he all right?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good. Like I said, it all goes through emotions at the TT, isn't it? Where you get settled down and you get fired up, and then you settle down and you're trying to fire yourself up. And it's difficult, but it's the TT, isn't it? It's not meant to be easy.
And I guess it's good to have something to focus on. So if you're messing around with the outfit, making those changes, it gives you something to do while you're waiting.
Yeah, it takes your mind off things. My mechanics would disagree with that one, like, but yeah, it takes your mind off things. But yeah, no, we're good. We're good to go.
Well, best of luck to both of you.
Thanks, man.
Just want to bring Patrick Ferrans in on this. Patrick, back to Greg Lambert and Andy Haynes there. An engine change in between the two races. That is some sort of job, that, isn't it, eh?
Yeah, you've got to have a good team around you to sort of change an engine that quick. I mean, you can sort of get them out, but it's sort of getting everything back in and make sure all the sensors are plugged in and the oil levels are correct, and sort of, yeah, it's a monumental effort to sort of get an engine out and back in that sort of short time, and it sort of give them another chance, really. I know it's unfortunate for Todd and Emmanuel, but yeah, it's been an advantage for some other teams. So for Greg and for Lee Crawford, it's sort of been a sort of a saving grace for them, so because they get another bite of the cherry.
Do you know what? I think we're going to see a new name on the podium here today. I really do. Could we have Louis Blackstock and your mate Paddy Rosney? Could we have Lee Crawford? Could Scott Hardy? Could they be there? Could the Rammies be there? Could we see John Holden back on the podium? Dave Molly and Jakey Roberts are going really well also. This could be an interesting rerun of race 2, couldn't it, Patrick France?
Yeah, so there's probably 5 or 6 guys there, and I mean Todd and Emmanuel were sort of in that mix as well. They just nipped into 3rd place on that first start. So there's probably 5 or 6 bikes that could sort of pinch that 3rd place. So the battle for 3rd is going to be sort of really interesting. With Pete Pounds obviously now not running as we led to believe, but the battle up front is going to be between Ben Birchall and Ryan Crowe. And like Ben will have sort of gone out in that and got a load of information and know what he has to do. He knows that Crowe would be fast on that first section of the course, and so he knows that he's got to sort of respond to that because he'd lost 10 seconds before the red flag had come out in that first session.
Pete Founds and Jevon Walmsley aren't on the line, so there's a big gap. There's a 10-second gap between the Birchall driver and, of course, Kevin Rousseau in the chair. 2 minutes to go before the start of the race. The Cole Cox Motorsport machine I'm looking at of John Holden there now. John, this is his little arms just into his position, locked into position. He will be now for the next couple of laps. And Tim Reeves, who was talking about the blow up that Pete and Jevon had when they were going down through when they were going down through obviously through Kurt Michael there, and Tim said he hit that oil and went absolutely sideways, and he was heading towards the house at one point, but he managed to correct it. So hopefully they've got all that sorted now. We're a minute and a half away from the start. And Lee Crawford and Scott Hardy, every time I go and talk to Scott, he tells me what he's got in the back there now is the kitchen sink, and what he's also said now is he's got the bathroom in there as well. He's happy and he's smiling and he's ready to go with the sun shining, and as Peter Neal used to say, looking down on us, I'm sure the sun is definitely glinting on the fairing.
Conditions look well set, Chris. Thank you very much for the Freewheeling.media Sidecar TT Race 2. Our attempt at a full restart after the opening attempt this morning was red flagged on lap 1 due to that crash by Ellis and Clement. So we will go again with a 2:15 start, 2 laps, 75.46 miles. It was the Birchalls that won last year from Peter Founds and Jevon Wormsley, and then Ryan and Callum Crowe in third. Our starter, once again, is Chris Bowman from Freewheeling.media. He has the flag in his hand. Around about 30 seconds to go. We see the top 6-7 outfits into no man's land, and what that feeling must be like as you wait to have the tap on the shoulder. We can see Ben crouched right down over the driving side of the machine as well, and Kevin Rousseau on the back, ready to give it the big pusher off. We see the starter, Mark Pendlebury, move into position. He puts the hand on the shoulder. We are into the last 5 seconds before we get underway with the Wickham Blackwell Hager Honda. And we go. Kevin aware they need to make a big push from the start. We have a 20-second gap then because there's no Peter Founds or Jevon Wormsley after their engine blow up this morning is what we think happened. Ryan and Callum Crowe, our race 1 winners, will go next. They're away on the Kell Properties Honda. Third away will be Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes on the Bonobo Action Racing Carl Cox Motorsport Honda. Then the Sidecar legend Dave Molyneux with Jake Roberts from Andreas and the Kell Properties DMR Kawasaki. A little stutter away from the line, but she's chimed in now, and away she goes. John Holden and Frank Clays, they go away next on the Carl Cox Ocean Motor Village Suzuki. Then we'll have the Ramsden, Steve and Matty Ramsden from Hebden Bridge on the Ramsden Racing RS Motorcycles Honda. They go next. Then Lee Crawford has made the restart. He had a problem this morning in the first attempt to run the race, but they're going out there. Crawford and Hardy away. Lewis Blackstock and Patrick Rosney on their return to the TT after a year out on the Dave Holden Racing Yamaha. They go next. Then we get Saturday's podium finishes, Alan Founds and Rhys Gibbons. Gibbons the newcomer. Alan from Little Neston on the Team Founds Racing machine. They're away. Then we get a 20-second gap because obviously no Todd Ellis and Manu Clement after their issue this morning, but they do say they have the bug. They will be back at the TT or World Champions. So the next outfit to go will be Wayne Lockie and Matty Rostron on the Dirty Weaker Campervans Honda. They will go next in a few seconds. We'll get them away. They go now. Then it will be John and James Saunders who go next on the Apollo Blinds Home Choice Flooring Yamaha. They were a retirement on Saturday, unfortunately, so they'll be looking for a finish. No, they got 9th actually, sorry, 9th place they were. Then it will be Michael Russell next with Vicky Cook. They didn't take the start on Saturday, so they made that start this morning and they're away again this afternoon. Greg Lambert and Andrew Haynes next on the line. On the Honda, they finished at 11th on Saturday and they are away. Next up, Sean and Ben Chandler from Pateley Bridge on the Glenlock Campsite Honda. Away they go. Then Conrad Harrison on that distinctive coat of arms machine with Ashley Moore from Bradford. They go away on the Yamaha Ireson. Then it would appear we have another non-starter with Rob Hancock and Basil Bevan not showing. So we move on in a few seconds' time to newcomers Robert Dawson and Matthew Sims. They had a 13th place finish, a really good newcomer finish on Saturday. Dawson and Sims are away. Alan Thomas and Jody James will be next on the LJ Smart Machine Ireson. They were a retirement on Saturday as well. Derek Lynch and Anthony McDonald go next on the Eclipse Racing Bailey's Garage Suzuki DMR. Then Gary Gibson and Justin Sharp. Gary from Beverley on the Gibson Racing Suzuki Shelbourne. Bruce Moore and Mark Gash are on the Arcadia Motel Christchurch of New Zealand Honda Ireson. They go next. We do have Andy King and Andrew Sigsworth from Broughton on the Honda Lumley Ireson. They go and they finish 16th in the first race. Then we move on to our German crew, Bigert Cronenberg and Jermaine van der Miggergol. They're away on the Honda LCR. Also Honda LCR for Maria Costello and Gary Wheeler, newcomer passenger. Final two to go away are Renzo van der Donk, Dan Valle van der Donk for Belgium. Away they go. And finally John Shipley and Diamond Rackman, John from St Helens on the Pit Plant Limited Brown Fire Protection Suzuki. So our outfits away we have the non-starters there, then Peter Founds at bike 2, Todd Ellis bike 11, bike 11, then bike 25 Rob Hancock, and that is the additional non-starters that we have into this race, as we do now get Birchall and Rousseau leading the way into Glen Helen. So perfect timing to switch across to see how this leaderboard forms. And really, Patrick, this is potentially a battle between Birchall and the Crows.
It is, and Ben Birchall's actually 4 seconds quicker to Glen Helen than the start this morning, but 5 seconds behind Brian and Callum Crowe already. They've done a 4-minute 47 to Glen Helen, which is an amazing time from a standing start on the opening lap here.
It really is, yeah. We're just going to try and put that into context of what it was this morning. It was a 4:49.9 on that red flagged race this morning. It's a 4:47.8, so over 2 seconds quicker for the Crows on the run out to Glen Helen. They know as well that they have to react to the Birchalls.
Yeah, they do. They'll sort of be reacting to each other because Ben Birchall, they've gone out and they've got a lot of information on that opening lap. They've got information about how Kevin's feeling under race pace, because they went out and they did a shakedown lap the other day, but they did it at 111 mile an hour, so about 90 seconds a lap off what they're capable of doing on lap record pace, which they are lap record holders.
Absolutely. Jenny Tinmouth is with us as well, and we're hoping for a close battle, but this has the potential for the Crow boys to just be that little bit ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, they've been quite dominant, to be fair, haven't they, with all the modifications that they've made to their sidecar. It's obviously working out really, really well for them, and they're just pulling away already, to be fair.
Yeah, and until you get to Greba on the first lap, which is sort of 5 or 6 miles into the course, it's 100% full throttle. You've got the braking heavily down for Quarter Bridge, then Bradden Bridge, then Union Mills, but apart from that, it's 100% full throttle. So if you've got an advantage at the start of this course with power and engine power, or speed, should I say, then it is a huge advantage to sort of nick time out of the other competitors early on in the race.
So for the super sports, these sidecars run the 600 engine. They can rev to 16,000 RPM. Are these very similar?
Yeah, they're very similar. So they are super sport spec engines. They are the sidecars. They don't run to the super sport rules, but they've all got 600cc, and they do rev to sort of 16,000 RPM. So you sort of feel sorry for the engines round here when you hear the sidecars going by screaming as we're watching Ben Birchall and Kevin Rousseau looking really good there through Douglas Road Corner.
Through Kurt Michael, let's bring you the leaderboard at Glen Helen. Ryan and Callum Crowe lead the way by 4.7 seconds on the opening lap of the three-wheeling Media's Sidecar TT Race 2. Ben Birchall and Kevin Rousseau are then 7.2 seconds ahead of Lewis Blackstock and Patrick Rosney, who hold third. They are only 0.4 of a second of Lee Crawford and Scott Hardy, who've been given a second chance by that red flag this morning. They had stopped out on the course on that opening lap. Alan Founds and Rhys Gibbons are podium men from Saturday. They're only 0.09 of a second down on Crawford and Hardy in fifth. Then Dave Molyneux and Jake Rollins going better today, 1.2 seconds down on Alan Founds. Then Tim Reeves is seventh, 0.1 of a second down on Molyneux. Then John Holden is 6.4 seconds down on Reeves. Stephen Matty Ramsden hold on to ninth. and it's 10th for Wayne Lockey and Matty Roscoe.
Yeah, so as we sort of thought that the battle for the podium there really hotting up early on in this race, so there's 1.9 seconds covering between 3rd and 7th place. So that's between Lewis Blackstock in 3rd and Tim Reeves in 7th. So it's looking like it is going to be a real close battle for that final podium position.
It does indeed. It looks like we're going to be seeing places changing all the time, potentially in there. Birchall and Rousseau are through the lap. We wait for the Crows to arrive. The Crows have arrived. The lead is not gone up by that much, actually. Maybe 4.7 out to 7.6. So 7.6 seconds the Crows now lead by at the lap on this opening lap, and we wait for the other outfits to arrive, which we see an absolute freight train coming down here through Kirkmichael.
Yeah, Lee Crawford now ahead of Steve and Matty Ramsden, and right behind them is Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosny. As we've got a retirement there for Mike Jackson and Vicky Cook, they're both okay. So yeah, that outfit stopped at the side of the road. Unfortunate for them, they had a bit of a disaster at the first race where they didn't even actually manage the start with a mechanical failure, electrical fault on the start. So yeah, a real tough TT for them.
Yeah, that's Michael Russell and Vicky Cook out then of the second sidecar encounter, unfortunately, early on the first lap. So at the lap, we continue to wait for the arrival of Lewis Blackstock. We'll also need to wait for Lee Crawford and Alan Fownes. Those are outfits 8, 9 and 10. We have the front 4 through at the moment. Through the lap are the Crows, Birchall and Rousseau, Dave Molyneux and Tim Reeves. So we're waiting on later arrivals here to come through just to get a definite idea of how this podium battle is going to shape up. It looks like it could be raging. Only tenths of a second between them. We get who's next through. John Holden is next through on the road through the lap, but it's the riders after that we're waiting for. Lewis Blackstock slots into 3rd. We await the arrival of Alan Fownes just to see where he is. Then we will have a formulated leaderboard. Oh, he slots into 4th. So it is the Crows that lead by 7.6 seconds at the lap on lap 1. Lewis Blackstock and Patrick Rosny continue to hold on to 3rd, 14.2 seconds down on Birchall. Alan Fownes has moved up to 4th. He's only a 10th of a second down on Blackstock and Rosny, and then it's only 7/10 of a second from them back to Molyneux and Roberts. So this is really battling up. Then Reeves and Wilkes are in 6th, 2.8 seconds down on Molly. Down Crawford and Hardy in 7th, Holden and Clays in 8th, and the Ramsons in 9th of the outfits through Ballath.
Yeah, Lee Crawford's lost nearly 12 seconds through that sector from the run from Glen Helen to Ballath, so hopefully that's not anything too terminal. It's just sort of a bit of an issue, and hopefully he can get back on pace. But he's lost a whole load of time, and he's dropped 9.3 seconds behind Tim Reeves in 7th place.
It's 1:19.5 type pace from a standing start for the Crow brothers as far as Ballath. They're there in 8 minutes and 10.9 this morning. It was 8 minutes 12.5. So somewhere up round 119.5 pace from the start, Jenny.
God, that's incredible, isn't it? I don't know how they do it. We're just watching some pictures of Ben Birchall and Kevin Brousseau. I don't even know how you know where you are on the circuit. It's tucked right in there. You can't hardly see him.
Yeah, real tough there. I mean, obviously riding with an injury as well, and to be able to go out and do them speeds, and only 7.6 seconds behind the Crow brothers there.
Trouble for Alan Fownes. We think he's being black flagged at Sulby. We understand part of the passenger tray seems to be dragging, so they will be stopped and be inspected. Any time will be deducted if they're allowed to continue, but you don't want that stoppage, do you?
No, you didn't. I did sort of see that on one of the screens, so I'm not quite sure what's happened there. They're sort of well held in and well fastened up at the under tray on these bikes, so I'm not quite sure what's gone wrong there on that outfit, whether they've sort of gone over a jump, or maybe they bottomed out through the bottom of the Garrow and it just sort of scraped some of the bolts and nuts off that sort of hold that under tray on.
Just seen Birchall and Rousseau heading up Stella Maris towards Ramsey outfit, and it seemed to really spin up as they came through Stella Maris.
Yeah, that's that section under the trees, and the track won't be as warm. Obviously, you're putting the power. They've got a whole lot of power. These 600cc's in the Sidecar, and they're putting the power down through sort of 10 inches of back wheel. So you will if you sort of get on the throttle a little bit too hard. I mean, you're generally going through there in first gear, and you do normally have to sometimes give it a little bit of clutch slip just to sort of get the traction going.
It is Birchall and Rousseau who are quicker on the run from Ballath to Ramsey by about 1/4 of a second, so the lead has come down from 7.6 to 7.3 seconds. So just a little nibble back there by Birchall and Rousseau.
Yeah, and the speed trap times through Sulby straight on the first lap, we've got Ryan and Callum Crowe fastest with 157.53, so that's pretty consistent with what they've been doing through practice week and through the first race. Then Ben Birchall and Kevin Rousseau 154.769, Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes 151.212, and then Dave Molyneux fourth fastest with 148.108.
Alan Founds and Rhys Gibbons have stopped and been inspected and are back underway. They're going to be credited with 30.6 seconds back by the race organisers.
Yeah, that's great. That sort of mixes up the sort of leaderboard, because they were in the battle for third place. So if this battle goes to the end of this 2 laps, then they're going to have to wait for a load of time before Alan Founds and Rhys Gibbons actually come across the line before they can slot into any kind of position.
Have to see how that shakes out on the leaderboard here, Jenny. At the moment we show Lewis Blackstock and Patrick Rosney 21.4 seconds down on Birchall and Rousseau, but holding third place. That is 9/10 of a second only ahead of Molyneux and Roberts, and then it's 17 seconds back to John Holden and Frank Clays, but we know Alan Founds has to drop in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? And I don't know how many pit boards these guys get around the course, but it'd be handy to get quite a few so you know where you are. But yeah, it's great to see Dave Molyneux there in fourth.
Yeah, even trying to work that out on the timing screens, with all the timing screens we have here, it'll be sort of pretty hard to sort of figure out where they sort of slot in. Just looking down there, it's crediting with 6 at the minute, sort of 13 seconds behind John Holden and Frank Clays through Ramsey. So it's great that they've managed to get going, but like I said, we'll just have to wait until they come across the line and sort of try and factor in the 30 odd seconds that they've been credited with.
I think they're going to be right in that battle, maybe just holding on to fourth place behind Blackstock and Rosney. We'll have to see how that shakes out as we now see outfits heading over the mountain. Obviously we're looking for the run towards the bungalow, but if we go back to Ballaugh to get more outfits in, then heading down beyond the leading riders, we have John Holden and Frank Clays holding on to 8th, Stephen Matthew Ramsden in 9th. In 10th it's Wayne Lockie and Matthew Rostron. Then in 11th, Robert Dawson and Matthew Sims having a fantastic ride today as newcomers. John and James Saunders in 12th, Conrad Harrison and Ashley Moore in 13th, Gary Gibson and Justin Sharp 14th, then Alan Thomas and Jody James in 15th, 16th to 20th are Greg Lambert and Andrew Haynes, then Sean and Ben Chandler, Derek Lynch and Anthony McDonnell, Anthony King and Andrew Sigsworth, and in 20th the Van der Dongs, Renzo and Valet Van der Donk, as we get Ben and Kevin out through the bungalow. We await now the arrival of the Crows. Here they come into it. They must be catching them a little bit on the road as well, because it's now, oh no, it's not gone out by that much. It's 7.9 seconds, so they've just eked the lead out by 0.6 of a second of the Crow boys on the run up from Ramsey to the bungalow, so they're still just over 12 seconds behind the Birchalls on the road.
Yeah, so Birchall and Russo had a real good run up the mountain there, holding only not 7.98 seconds different from the Crow boys now. So they've had a brilliant run up the mountain mile, and yeah, sort of Crows pulled 7 seconds all the way to Ramsey, and then it sort of seemed to held at 7 seconds now. So yeah, Ben and Kevin sort of getting into a rhythm over the mountain section, and more crucially sort of going past where they had the sort of incident the other day at race pace, and yeah, all looking good for them actually. They're in this battle still.
Yeah, that's so impressive, isn't it? And you just see there Ben with the sidecar twitching and him just correcting the steering there, and it's so impressive what they're able to do with everything they've been through and the repairs that they've had to do to that sidecar.
Yeah, absolutely. If anybody's seen the pictures, that fairing was more or less completely destroyed, and it's taken 34 hours of work and composite work to sort of get it back up, because it's not just sort of rebuilding, it has to be structurally strong, because if you've got a headwind at 150 mile an hour, it needs to be sort of strong so it doesn't buckle under the airflow.
An amazing number of people diving in to help them and get the work done from around the paddock and around the island, in fact.
Yeah, so we had Feraldo Racing and then Roger Maher. They did all the composite work. Like I said, it's 34 hours, which is an enormous amount of time, and they were actually ready for the shakedown lap a few days ago. Obviously, this race has been put back today, so they would have been ready yesterday also. So, yeah, amazing effort then. But I just want to say how well Lewis Blackstock and Patrick Rosney are doing. They were holding third up to the bungalow, and they are running standard engines. And as I thought, because they've got standard engines which they run in the World Championship. When they run out in the World Championships, they that they would have lost out on the run up the mountain because it's a drag uphill, and it's just shown on the times there.
They have indeed. It's Molly and Roberts who are up into third place. Dave Molyneux and Jake Roberts move up into third place at the bungalow on lap 1. The Crows lead Birchall and Rousseau by 7.9 seconds. It's then 29.8 seconds back to Molyneux and Roberts. They have 2.1 seconds over Blackstock and Rosny. John Holden and Frank Clays and the Ramsdens also through the bungalow, and we await obviously Alan Founds to see where they drop in. Will they be credited back time for the fact they've had to slow down and then speed up, or will it just be somebody will have time to stop?
I'm not quite sure how it works. I've sort of never been in that situation, and it's sort of a unique. You don't sort of hear about it so much. But we'll just have to wait and see. But I imagine it'll be from sort of when the time that they stop, but then you've got to factor in the slowing down and speeding up. But they managed to pinch that third place in the first race and pull out 10 seconds on the last lap. That was obviously in a 3-lap race. This is a 2-lap race, so they'll come round here for Cronkmore and then just fly around one more time, and then that'll be the end.
The Crows have extended the lead at Cronkmore on lap 1. It's out to 8.9 seconds now over Birchall and Rousseau as we see them go in to Governor's Dip. We've got them on the screen with the helicopter right over the head of them. We'll have them flash past us here very, very shortly. We can see Founds and Gibbons also coming up through Kirkmichael on a slow-mo, but we await the arrival of Birchall and Rousseau over the line. They will head out onto the second and final lap. Here they go. And away they go. So about 10 or so seconds to wait, probably for the Crows. Here they are. Opening laps 118.158 for Birchall and Rousseau, 119.092 for the Crows, and the lead is exactly 9 seconds. So it's just come down a shade, or really it stayed exactly where it was at Cronkmore. 9 seconds between the Crows and Birchall and Rousseau. The only other outfit at Cronkmore is Dave Molyneux and Jake Roberts, who show third place at the moment on the leaderboard. They've just pipped Lewis Blackstock and Patrick Rosny for that at the bungalow on this opening lap, as we see the Birchalls heading out already from Quarter Bridge.
Yeah, amazing by Ben Birchall and Kevin Rousseau on the opening lap. They're still in this fight, you know, it's not over. It's 9.022 seconds, so it's not out of the realms of possibility. Anything could go wrong for the Crows. They could have any kind of mechanical or just slow them up, but no, definitely still in this race at this stage.
They've stretched right away on the road here, Jenny. There's a huge gap before we get the third outfit through, though. We should be Molly and Roberts. They've not come through as yet. Here they come. 114.633 miles per hour for Dave Molyneux and Jake Roberts, but that is enough to hold on to third place at the moment, Jenny.
Yeah, Patrick, as a passenger, obviously, how hard is it to have a new passenger? Because obviously Kevin is a new passenger to Ben for here, and what they're achieving is just like fantastic. How difficult is it as a new passenger to a new driver?
Yeah, so it's akin to sort of changing chassis or changing engine manufacturers. You know, it's massive because Ben Birchall's only ridden with his brother around here, so to come here with a passenger and then go through what they've gone through in practice and go out and do a 180 mile an hour lap on that opening lap, it really is quite amazing. And I would have thought that the Crow boys would have hoped that they'd be able to sort of see them in the sights now, but they'll just won't be able to. You need to be about 8 seconds when you come through Union Mills before you can see the next driver going up into the Ballagary area.
Other outfits coming through at the end of lap 1. Blackstock and Rosny are through 114.275. John Holden and Frank Clays 111.888. The Ramsden's about to come through as well, 110.252. But we don't have Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes. They don't seem to have made Ramsey on lap 1, nor 2 Lee Crawford and Scott Hardy, who had that issue this morning. We seem to have lost both of those at Ramsey on this lap. So let's get you that leaderboard then at the end of the opening lap. It's 9 seconds exactly that the Ryan and Callum Crowe lead Ben Birchall and Kevin Russo. It's then 35.3 seconds back to Dave Molyneux and Jake Roberts. Then Lewis Blackstock and Patrick Rosny are 3.7 seconds down on Dave Molyneux and Jake Roberts. Then John Holden and Frank Clay show 25.3 seconds down on Blackstock. Alan Founds and Rhys Gibbons then show 5.5 seconds down on Holden. So putting those 30 seconds or so back in will only move them up 1 place, I think, to 5th at the moment. And it will disrupt the ribbon if you've had to stop, won't it?
So Alan Founds, once you factor in the 30 seconds, is currently 33 seconds behind Dave Molyneux. So Dave Molyneux will still be holding third place just over Alan Founds if we're factoring that 30-second difference.
I think we have Blackstock and Rosny also slotting in there. They're only 3.7 seconds down on Dave Molyneux. It's hard to work out, but we'll try and do our best here. Wayne Lockie and Matty Rostron, they go through as well. They complete their lap 109.018. Let's bring you, if we can, the opening lap times consolidated. Get those if they'll flash up, which hopefully they will. For the Crows, it was 19 minutes 00.527, 119.092. For Birchall and Rousseau, it was 19 minutes and 9.548, 118.158. For Molyneux and Roberts, 114.633. Then for Founds and Gibbons, they're showing 111.378, but they will need to have time credited back to them. And then Blackstock and Rosny, 114.275. Next fastest will be Holden and Clays, 111.888, and the Ramsdens at 110.252 as we pick up the Crows on the way out to Glen Helen.
Yeah, helicopter shot there. You can just see how hard Callum Crosser is working the left and the right as they're coming through the Glen Helen section. And there's still actually a bit of damp patches still bubbling up through the centre there, so they have to be careful going over that white line. It sort of seems to be all the way through practice week that water just seems to be seeping out of the centre of the white line. So on the run up through Glen Helen, just sort of ease the power on and not try and be too aggressive on the throttle.
As you say, full power, and that means advantage the Crows, and they have taken another 4 seconds onto the lead on the run out between the grandstand and Glen Helen. It's 13.1 seconds now. They lead with 2/3 of a lap to do.
Yeah, so they'll only now be 7.9 seconds behind Birchall and Russo on the road. So if they get to a sort of a long section, they'll sort of be able to see them in the sights, and it's just sort of, it's a nice carrot sort of dangle in front of you where you can sort of just sort of start reeling them in.
And Jenny, this is the Crows potentially set to join the 120 club. We've got the Birchalls in. They did the 120 last year. They were followed in by Pete Bounds and Jevon Wormsley in the second race last year. Glen Helen to Glen Helen for the Crows, 120.036 miles per hour. They are on pace.
Wow, that's incredible, isn't it? Just the level's just been raised, hasn't it? And all the modifications that they've done to that sidecar over the winter, it's just obviously making a difference with the aero and everything that they've done with the screen. Callum was saying that he was having to get himself lower in the sidecar just to get out of the air, but still maintain the vision so he could see where he was going.
Yeah, Callum's sort of a slighter figure for the sidecar passengers, and yeah, he does a real good job of sort of getting down out of the wind. But the outfit has looked super stable all week. It's sort of 120 mile an hour, you know, you would have thought that they'd sort of be on the edge, sort of pushing the white lines, but it all looks really comfortable at the minute. It's sort of just sort of in the middle of the road, just going from left to right, the passenger work, and it all looks as though everything's working so beautifully and in sync at the moment.
Absolutely. So then, out through Glen Helen, we're waiting on this battle for the podium. Dave Molyneux and Jake Roberts are through. We then have to wait 40 seconds or so to get Lewis Blackstock and Patrick Rosny through. More outfits coming across the line. Most recently across the line here at the City Grandstand are the Van der Donks and Vigert Kranenberg and Jermaine van der Migel. They have crossed the line, so they're out onto their final lap of their TT. We're just seeing if we can get some news here. It looks like John Holden may have stopped. Yeah, stopped at Union Mills Approach. John Holden and Frank Clays, they are another retirement. And we do always see a lot of attrition in this second sidecar race because so much work is being put through these machines.
It is. These machines are being worked at incredibly hard, so the attrition rate is really quite high. It's like the Super Twin race, you know, the sort of lower powered machines for the weight that they're pulling, and like these outfits are about 220-230 kilos, just the chassis on the own. Then you've got the weight of the driver and the passenger, and punching a big hole in the air with the actual size of the fairing. So the attrition rate, unfortunately, in this race is really quite high, especially for them guys that were sort of pushing and hoping for a podium place.
We have the guys through Glen Helen then. It looks like maybe they had sorted putting the time credit in for Alan Founds. Molyneux and Roberts show in third. They are 4.6 seconds up on Blackstock and Rosny in this battle for the final podium place, and then 1 second back on Blackstock and Rosny are Alan Founds and Rhys Gibbons. The Ramsdens, the other outfit through Glen Helen, as Birchall and Rousseau arrive first on the road at Ballaugh Bridge. We see them take the jump there. The Crows are also there, and they push the lead out again from 13.1 to 15.2 seconds. So they're now less than 5 seconds behind the Crows on the road.
Yeah, they'll be able to sort of start reeling them in now. They'll sort of see them in a lot of places around the circuit and be able to reel them in. But an amazing ride here from Dave Molyneux and Jake Roberts. They've had sort of a real tumultuous kind of practice week, and the first race didn't go to plan. So for them to be sitting there in third place at the minute behind Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosney, and again in front of Alan Founds and Rhys Gibbons, our third place finishers in the first race, this will be, Alan will have sort of pit boards around the course, and he'll sort of be trying to reel them guys in now.
And they're only 7/10 of a second, the Crows, outside of lap record pace. The lap record to Ballaugh is at 8 minutes and 2.7. They are there in 8 minutes and 3.4. So only 7/10 of a second here, Jenny. They are still on that 120 mile an hour schedule.
Yeah, that's incredible, isn't it? It blows me away every time the amount of speed they can get out of these sidecars with the 600 engine. Though it's so impressive, and yeah, I hope they can get it.
Yeah, only two outfits in history currently have a 120 mile an hour barrier, so that's Ben Birchall and Tom Birchall, and then Pete Founds and Jevon Walmsley. So if we can add another one to that 120 mile an hour tally, that'll be quite something within 2 years.
We have Alan Founds and Rhys Gibbons. We're confirmed that the time credit has been given to them, so the leaderboard we see is correct. So there are 5.7 seconds between Dave Molyneux in third and Alan Founds and Rhys Gibbons in fifth, with Lewis Blackstock and Patrick Rosney in between. It's a right ding-dong this for the final podium.
Yeah, that's what we want to see, isn't it? A bit of a battle for the final podium, and yeah, just we have to keep an eye on it and see how it pans out.
Yeah, and all these guys will have pit boards around the circuit, so they'll all be sort of running to the pit boards. But obviously, when you run to a pit board, you're sort of a sector behind from the previous information. So these guys will just be giving it all now. The passengers will sort of be pulling themselves down into the platform, trying to keep out the wind, knowing that it's a shorter distance 2-lap race.
Absolutely. So we have the Crows, Birchall and Rousseau and Molyneux through the lap. We're waiting to see what they will do on the run down Sulby. We've got the Crows at 157.53 miles per hour this lap. Birchall and Rousseau at 154.769. So still advantage to that Crow outfit on our right pace.
Yeah, and let's forget that's a speed advantage all the way around the course, and it sort of, the time does add up, like 3 mile an hour. You may not think it's that much, but when you're 100% full throttle for such a long period of time around the course, it can soon add up and it can make all the difference. As we can see there that the Crows are only a couple of seconds behind Ben Birchall and Kevin Russo on the road there.
Over Milltown, they absolutely have them in sight now as Birchall and Rousseau come into Schoolhouse Corner. The Crows are chasing them up to their home area in the north of the island as they both come through Schoolhouse there, out not really using the bus stop at all. Do you use that on the sidecars?
Yeah, you do, but it's there. You shouldn't. You should always sort of keep it in hand. But yeah, you can go in. But this is such a welcome sight for the Crow boys. They'll have sort of seen the back of that Birchall and Russo outfit and sort of dragging him in. And it's sort of, when you see an outfit in front of you, you can sort of, it just helps you just drag onto the back of them, and it's sort of easier to reel them in than it is to sort of pull away from somebody. So a very welcome sight there for them boys.
It's interesting as well that the engine in the Crows Boys machine was done by the PHR Performance, Peter Hickman's Performance Centre, and the development they've done on that engine and the electronics as well, done by Pete Clifford, which is Peter Hickman's electronics man, is super interesting.
Yeah, so the Pete Hickman Racing sort of well involved with the Crow boys there, and just heard that they're 3 seconds inside the lap record, so that's pushing on to 121 mile an hour lap, which is quite amazing. Whether they sort of knock it off over the mountain now, they can see Birchall and Russo in the sights. I'm not quite sure that they'll be getting pit boards. I would have thought, saying that they're on lap record pace, and I can imagine if it's there and it's on, they'll definitely go and give it a go.
Ramsey to Ramsey is 120.373. The lap record 120.645. So they would just have to find a little bit more over the mountain. But yeah, their split to Ramsey is an 11.36.4. The lap record is an 11.39.1 by the Birchalls last year. As we see Molyneux heading into Ramsey as well and through Schoolhouse, he continues to hold on to third. Molyneux and Jake Roberts, they are now 6.1 seconds ahead of Alan Founds and Reece Gibbons, who have moved up to fourth at Ballaugh on the second and final lap. They are then only 1.1 seconds ahead of Blackstock and Rosby. How incredible would it be for Dave Molyneux to get back on the podium at the TT?
Oh, it'll be amazing. I can't remember when the last time was. Was it 2014? Would that have been the last podium film? I can't quite think off the top of my head, but yeah, it'll be going on a decade before he can sort of being last on the podium. But yeah, amazing effort by him and Jake there to be sort of holding this place so far into the second lap.
Molyneux's getting a big ovation up there in Ramsey in the north of the island where he's from. We can see the fans cheering, and really the Crows probably won't have aboard to know they're on that record pace. All they'll be concerned about is Virtual and Rousseau are right in front of them. They will know that they are their main contender in this race, and they just need to sit behind them, really.
Yeah, they can, can't they? They can just sit behind them, so it'd be interesting to see if they do try to make a pass. It's difficult enough passing on the solo, isn't it? Never mind in the sidecar. So whether they get in the tow as well, whether that's actually going to drag them on, it's hard to say.
Yeah, I imagine they'll sort of get a tow and a drag up the mountain mile, and sort of that'll help them bring them on, and hopefully they'll just be able to get past Birchall safely there, and then if they can push on for this lap record, that will be an amazing feat.
Yeah, we'll just wait to pick them up and see whether or not they do try to make the pass or not. We've got Molyneux, we've got Lewis Blackstock through. We're just waiting for the arrival of Alan Founds into Ramsey. We see him now coming through Schoolhouse. He needs to get down into Parliament Square, across out past the old Ray Motors garage, up past the bus station, into the bottom of May Hill, then out through White Gates and on the run up to Stella Maris, and we will get the time for him. We see them through Parliament Square. They look really well and composed. It's just whether they can do anything about this 6-second advantage that Molyneux and Roberts have, and it must disrupt your rhythm when you've been stopped for a black flag.
It will, but Alan's sort of an experienced driver around here, so he'll sort of soon be able to get straight back into his rhythm and get back onto pace, and it's sort of a carrot there. He'll see his pit board saying plus 7.4, so he'll be able to sort of use that as a carrot and sort of work towards his pit board and know that obviously he won't know who he's sort of battling with on the road for this final podium position, but he'll be trying really hard, even though it has sort of disrupted his rhythm. They're experienced enough to sort of put it to the back of the mind and go again.
As you say, it's gone out from 6.1 at Ballaugh that Molyneux was leading Founds. It's now 7.4 seconds in this battle for the final podium space. But Lewis Blackstock and Patrick Rosney are coming back at Founds and Gibbons. They're only quarter of a second behind in sixth. So third, fourth, fifth are still very, very close.
Yes, all three of them still in contention for the podium position, but Molyneux doing an amazing job there, just sort of stretching that gap a little bit, as we can see now that the Crows have actually caught and passed.
They're leading on the road at the Bungalow on the second and final lap. The Crows, they've got past Birchall and Rousseau, so the leader's gone out to 21.24 seconds at Bungalow lap 2. It was 20-second start interval, so therefore they are 1.2 seconds ahead on the road. Let's just see where we are in terms of the lap record schedule. Well, they're still on 120 and a half type pace as far as the Bungalow. They are 1/10 of a second outside of the Birchall's lap record split to the Bungalow. It was a 15:13.3. They're there in 15:13.4. This is still very possible.
Yeah, it's very possible. It is really on. So quite amazing that they can sort of do a lap a year apart and only be 1/10 of a second difference on from the run down to the mountain. So if them guys have got a sniff, I think they'll be getting pit boards now, and they'll sort of know that they are on lap record pace. I think they're going to sort of really go and try and push for this.
They've then streaked right ahead on the road of Molyneux and Roberts, who started at 5, so we're 20 seconds back at start, but the gap on the road is a lot greater than that, and then we have to wait for bikes 9 and 10, Lewis Blackstock and Alan Founds to come through. It is Founds and Gibbons that hold on to 4th at the moment, then Blackstock and Rosney. Then in 6th are the Ramsdens. Let's try to go a little bit further down the leaderboard. 6th place are the Ramsdens. In 7th, John Saunders and James Saunders. In 8th, Wayne Lockie and Matthew Rostrom. In 9th, Robert Dawson and Matthew Sims. Conrad Harrison is into the top 10 with Ashley Moore. Then Gary Gibson and Justin Sharp 11th. Derek Lynch and Anthony McDonnell are in 12th. They're going really well. Renzo van der Donk and Valley van der Donk are 13th. Andy King and Andrew Sixworth hold 14th. The Chandlers, Sean and Ben, hold on to 15th. Vigert Cranenberg and Jermaine van Migdal hold on to 16th. Then Maria Costello and Gary Wheeler are 17th. And in 18th, John Shipley and Diamond McRahman. So we are looking now for the Crows to arrive. First on the road at Cronknamona. That's where we're waiting for them as we see Molyneux go out through Dukes on the 32nd. Just getting the apexes absolutely spot on there, Patrick.
Yeah, Dave Molyneux's always sort of been one to sort of use all the road, but it's all sort of calculated. He sort of, from white line to white line, just lets the outfit sort of run out, not scrubbing off any speed at all. He sort of has been a master around here for so long, but these new guys that are coming through now, the sort of the Birchall and Farms, and now the Crow boys, all looking to be doing over 120 mile an hour. It's yeah, the times are just sort of clicking on now. It really is amazing.
They are still on that 120 pace, sorry, at Cronknamona. They've just slipped off the lap record schedule by 2 seconds or so. So we're probably not going to see the lap record, but they are potentially going to join the 120 club. They're at Cronknamona. In fact, they're at Governor's Dip already. They're breaking into Governor's Bridge. They've got the Birchalls right behind them. We see them into Governor's Dip. So we are about to see the Crows and the Birchall and Rousseau arrive onto Glen Crutchley Road. This is going to be the TT 2024 sidecar double for Ryan and Callum Crow. They're screaming, here they come, across the line to take the double. Birchall and Rousseau right behind them at the finish line, so it's going to be just a smidgen over 20 seconds, 20.4 seconds. And the last lap for Ryan and Callum Crow. They join the 120 club, 120.335 miles per hour, 18 minutes 48.747. For Birchall and Rousseau, 119.125 miles per hour, 19 minutes 00.217. What an effort by the Crows, what an effort by Birchall and Rousseau, given what happened only a few days ago.
Oh, so many stories to tell here, you know, even if those two just guys out front there. 120.3 seconds outside the lap record. And again, the third team in history to sort of join the 120 mile an hour club. And 119.1, that's amazing by Ben Birchall and Kevin Rousseau there.
They're into the winners' enclosure, but we're just going to bring Dave Molyneux and Jake Roberts home for what we think will be third place. They've only just made it through Cronknamona, so we'll try and wait for them as they go out through Signpost. They'll go down into Bedstead, then the Nook, then Governor's Bridge, through Governor's Dip, and then we'll get them onto Glen Crutchley Road for what will be, well, if he makes it, an amazing, amazing podium for Dave Molyneux, Jenny.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to show that age is just a number, isn't it? He's 60-year-old now, 17 TT wins, and just a legend. And it's great to see him back on the podium.
Yeah, it would be if he makes it back, and then Alan Founds has got an 8-second lead at the bungalow, so it's a big gap to sort of try and pull down just on that short run from the mountain there. So if he can get down here in third, an amazing feat by Jake Roberts as well there. They've had sort of a real tough TT for 2024, but if they can walk away here with a podium, it'll be an amazing job by them guys.
They should be coming. We can hear an outfit coming into view on Glen Crutchley Road. Here they are to collect the podium finish. Wow, Dave Molyneux and Jake Roberts at TT 2024. Let's get down to Chris Kinley in the winners' enclosure.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. And isn't that great, that lap record, that lap speed for the guys at 120 mile an hour? Absolutely brilliant. The gap at the end, let's have a little look. It was 20.4 seconds. Dave Molyneux 1 minute 13 back in that third position. Lewis Blackstock and Patrick Rosney, they are through Cronknamona. We'll give you that last lap again for the Crows. Well, 18:48.7, 120.33. And Callum celebrated his birthday the other day. And he gets a handshake from Rob from the TT guys, and he's Dave Molyneux and Jakey Roberts. Wowee! Oh! Never, ever, ever seen Dave Molyneux like that coming into here. Never, ever, ever. And the first people to go in and see them are Ryan and Callum Crow. Put it into gear, guys. Put it into gear. It's going to roll down the hill. Jakey Roberts gets a big hug from Ryan Crow. Callum goes up to see him as well. Well, that is brilliant. This is going to be an emotional interview, I'm pretty sure, with Dave Molyneux. And we'll let and hopefully you're not picking up what Dave's shouting there. Just put the outfit in gear, will you, Cal? Otherwise it's going to roll away. And let's get to Ryan Crow if we can. Well, young man, 18 minutes, 48.7, 120 mile an hour lap for you two.
That's all right. That's not the top.
2 wins.
2 wins and 120 mile an hour. Can't beat that, can you?
Talk us through the race.
Well, we got a good start. I pushed it a bit hard into Griever Castle. I thought we'll push it a bit hard here. I got aboard P5 at Kurt Michael there from Murph, and then I got another one P7 at the Gooseneck, and I thought That's kind of he's on a steady, like evenish pace, and then I seen him coming from Solby Straight. I seen him turning into Solby Bridge, and I thought, right, hunt on sort of thing, and chase him down, and then up the mountain mile we up past him on the mountain, so it was good. Mega race.
Nobody in front for you to chase. I said it before the start of the race. You had nobody to look at, whereas you had Pete and Jev before. You had nobody there, so you could try and judge it, haven't you?
Yeah, well, if Pete was there, it's a shame Pete wasn't there, but we had one target on us really, and it's to finish first, and we just chased and chased and chased. So
this has been the culmination of years and years of build-up, this, isn't it, to this now?
Yeah, 100%. We've tried 100% of our effort every single year. We've done the TT. It's just this year we put extra effort in and really put our hands deep in our pockets to get the equal machinery, and look where it's put us. It's, money can't buy you a dream, can it? But it clearly does.
What about the old bugger coming into third?
That's just made the podium, hasn't it? Fair play. We've worked quite close with Dave with the bike this year, and to see him come third place on a podium, he says it's his last year, but it won't be now. Yeah.
Well done.
I keep saying that to him, but thank you very much, Chris.
You're welcome. Cheers. And Cal, happy birthday for the other day, 120-mile lapper, and of course 2 TT wins.
That doesn't get much better than that. He's given me a good birthday present there, I think. Bit bumpy though.
Yeah, talk us through the race.
We got past. I knew he was on good pace. I mean, today he was like it was like he was possessed by something. The way he was driving to Glenelm was unreal. And when we got on the exit of coming into Douglas Road Corner, I seen +5 or something, and I knew that was similar to the last race. And then I kept seeing +7. And I thought, right, we got a race here, a good race. But then I seen him on the road, and I knew once he sees him on the road, that's it. His job's done there. But I can't thank my team enough. I mean, we've got the best team around us. Kel Properties have come on board this year. It was Kel Truck, everyone. We've gone to a new engine builder. It's all paid off. David Booth. And not only that, I've been getting looked after through, to do these speeds and to focus for so long. You've got to have physio and look after your body. And Vicky Christian's been looking after me. So yeah, it was just a good TT 2024.
There's some party up the north tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know what? To see that man walk in, to drive in this park for me, whatever you call it, that's just made it.
I think it's made a lot of people's days, including your brother. But you're a 2-time TT winner. Get yourself in there. Enjoy. Thanks, Cal.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Well done, boys. Excellent stuff. Let's get over to our second place crew, Ben, and we'll let him relax a little bit. That's all right, isn't it? 119 lap on the last lap for you boys. Well done.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, credit to Kevin. We had a bit of a turbulent week, but it's his second ever TT, so to be at that pace, and it's great. And thank you so much to everyone that's helped us get to the grid. Fernaldo, Paint Francesco, and Roger, and I'm struggling to remember names. I love Raps, and a massive thanks to my sponsors. It's difficult times for everyone, and the support that I get that gets us here to do this is so important, and I want to thank them all personally so much. And my team, my boys, they work day and night, and yep, we've got a podium. I'm thrilled.
Got a podium. After you're upside down on the mountain, you were thinking, oh, this is it.
I did. I thought that was over, and a big thing to come back without Tom, and I want to say a big shout out to him and thank him. So yeah, emotional all around, really.
Well done. And for the boys to win and to Molly to get on there, eh?
What a day for the Isle of Man, eh? It's cool. It's nice to Ryan and Callum are in that sweet spot, and I know exactly where it is, and me and Kev's just outside of it, but it don't mean that we aren't going to get back there, and I'm looking forward to next year now. I know where we need to be, and well, Dave Molyneux, what can you say? That's just fantastic. 60 years old and fast as flipping heck.
Well done, good to see you.
Cheers, thank you.
Kev, let's jump in if we can. I won't try not to stand on your ankle and that. 119-mile-hour lap, second time here, that's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, after what we had, after the quadrant we had, it's very good to be on a podium, and all the boys will make a really hard work to put the grid, the bike back on the grid today. So it's just amazing for me to be on a podium this weekend.
How's your body? Okay, sore?
Yeah, when you're on a bike, you don't think a lot about that. When it's finished, it's a bit different story. But on a bike, it's quite all right, and then we are here to do our job, and then I think we did quite good.
You certainly did. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kev. Thank you very much for that. We'll just watch the lid that's on the floor. We're just waiting for Dave Molly and Jakey Roberts just to do the podium, to do the TV bit. Just give you the other, so the finish then, it was 20.491, 20.491 for Ben Birchall, Dave Molyneux and Jakey Roberts in that third position. Well, let's have a word with young Jake. All right. Well, we'll give him a minute. Do you know what? Hang on. We'll let Ryan and Callum come in and see them first, because there's one or two choice words coming out of Dave's mouth. We'll just let him be on that one. Sorry, bud, but it means a lot. Apologies if you're picking any language up there as well. But David, in your 30th year, 30 years old, how's that, Dave? Do you know what? The biggest cheer was when you came in here.
Never. Well, that's nice. Yeah.
Talk us through it. The race.
The race. Well, I haven't been full of confidence, and suppose that's a combination of age and not a lot of riding and stuff like that, and bad few years. But getting Jake on, only 20 years old, was a shot in the arm for a start. I mean, a young guy's always going to give you a boost, isn't he? And it's harder for me to keep fit now. I want to go home and have a beer with my missus at night and
put your feet up.
Yeah, instead of bloody walking and stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, been a massive team effort this week, as it always is. It goes without saying, and we have a really good team of people around us, and it's that team that makes it all happen, as you know, with every result that comes in the TT, whether you're at the back of the field or the front. It's the same effort goes in, and a lot of credit needs to go to every rider on this grid, every passenger, and everybody in the event. Yeah.
Fourth last year, obviously, in one of the sidecar races. Did you ever think you'd get back here on the podium again, honestly?
There's always an opportunity. Sidecars are volatile, and with so many young guys that are really, really fast, this is fantastic, you know, as good as anything. And yeah, winning ain't even in my head anymore. I like to support the grid, the field, and the event. And with, I don't know, maybe I'm a bit past it, but I still enjoy riding and going around. All the spectators and the fans hanging around, it's better than ever at the minute. It really is. They all put a lot of energy out there into it and make the riders feel pretty special, you know.
You might say what age your day, but Fownsy, Lewis Blackstock, you were giving those boys a good run for money, and you left them. Gone. Bye-bye. See you later.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. The bike's a heavy old mare. I've made it for the TT, not for circuits, and I think I've gone as usual of late. I've gone the pretty much the wrong way with that. It's a struggle for the little engine to pull it, but I don't think it would make any difference to the result to me. If I was on these boys' bikes, I would have been the same result, so it's no big deal.
Great to see you in here again.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Cheers. And how about this then? Young man, 20 years old, Jake Roberts, first TT podium. Can you put into words and remind, we are live on Radio TT. Be very, very careful, and your mother's listening as well.
This is just an absolute dream come true to me, Chris. You know that. I mean, I've been in here several times as a kid, and this is just all I've ever wanted. And
all that fitness work you've done to the winter months with all your team has paid off, hasn't it?
Yeah, I know. I mean, being 20, all your mates are wanting to go out to the pub and do this, that, and the other. But I've just had to been finishing work in the gym every night, and Callum's joined me in there as well as of late. But I mean, I've got
not Dave.
No. But I just want to say a massive, massive, massive thank you to Lisa and everyone at V2. I couldn't have done it without them there. That I've injured my leg there on the end of the first lap, and I just had to hang on to that, and I couldn't have done that without the training I've had. So, yeah.
I'll let you soak this in. Are you old enough to drink?
Yes, I am.
Oh yes, good man. Well done, Jakey.
Thank you very much.
Well done, buddy. Cheers. There you go, folks. The first three in the Freewheeling.media sidecar race. Happy people. Back to you, Boydie.
Fantastic roundup of interviews there, and amazing to get Dave Molyneux back into the podiums at the TT. We're going to quickly rattle through the results because we are only 23.5 minutes away from the start of the Monster Energy Supersport TT Race 2. So let's start to work down the results of the second Freewheeling.media Sidecar TT. Ryan and Callum Crowe do the double at TT 2024. They won by 20.491 seconds on the Kell Properties machine on the Honda from Ben Birchall and Kevin Rousseau on the Wickham Blackwell Hager Honda. 20.491 seconds. It was then 1 minute and 13.1 back to Dave Molyneux. and Jake Roberts on the Kell Properties DMR Kawasaki. They held on to third by 6.8 seconds it was from Alan Fownes to Rhys Gibbons, who was stopped. And let's just stop that and go down to Beth.
Yeah, I'm just with Alan Fownes now. You were black flagged at Sulby, you had to stop, you got going again. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure. Apparently there was something wrong with the undertray, but there wasn't anything wrong with the undertray at all. And, you know, it was more dangerous me being all pumped up and just angry, because I knew we were doing well, you know, and the bike was going all right. And just to try and get started after that, I was just pissed off, to be honest. I was really annoyed. So I rode like a bit of a knobhead all the way up into the mountain, just because I was angry. And I just needed to just calm down, and I just thought, you know what? And as I say, my pit board was P4, and I was like, I can't get that back.
Apologies if anyone's offended by the language there, but it's perfectly understandable after what you've been through. And they were talking in the commentary booth there just about how difficult it must have been for you to get back in your rhythm.
Yeah, exactly that. And it took me, it took me half a lap to get back into it, really. So I would have lost time over there, but you know. We said it at the start, it's a TT. Yeah, I'm annoyed, and I'm going to have a few words with race control and see if there's anything they can do, because that's naughty, really, but I understand the marshals are doing their jobs, but, you know.
You were credited 30 seconds back, but I mean, still, after everything, fourth is a fantastic result.
Yeah, you know, that said, Beth, that's the most successful TT that I've had, like, you know, to date. You know, and with Reese as a newcomer passenger, it's great, you know. Massive thanks to all our friends and family and sponsors who've got us over the 100 Club. It's been a massive help to actually get us here, but yeah, you know, bit of a bittersweet ending really to it. But do you know what? We raced around the TT and we finished both races, and that's I can't knock that.
Appreciate you talking to us, Alan.
Thanks, Beth. Cheers.
Thank you very much, Beth. And understandable that he's very, very frustrated with that fourth place finish. 6.8 seconds behind Molyneux and Roberts, who finished in third. In fifth were Lewis Blackstock and Patrick Rosney. 4.7 seconds down on Fownes, and then Stephen Matthew Ramsden were a minute and 20 down on Blackstock and Rosney. Such was the intensity of that battle for the final podium place. Seventh place to John and James Saunders, eighth to Wayne Lockie and Matty Rostron, ninth and a superb newcomer top 10 finish for Robert Dawson and Matthew Sims, 10th for Conrad Harrison and Ashley Moore, another top 10 for Conrad. Gary Gibson and Justin Sharp finish in 11th. 12th goes to Derek Lynch and Anthony McDonnell. 13th to Renzo and Valet van der Donk. In 14th, Sean Chandler and Ben Chandler. In 15th, Vigert Klandenberg and Jermaine van Migedal. 16th, Maria Costello and Gary Wheeler. And 17th, and the final finishes in TT in freewheeling.media Sidecar TT Race 2 are John Shipley and Diamond Mac Ramon. Patrick.
Yeah, a real race of attrition there. There's sort of some good guys sort of just dropped out of the podium fight with breakdowns or whatever, but yeah, it just showed the emotion there from Dave Molyneux when he pulled into the Parc Fermé there, sort of revving the engine. I think that might need a bit of a rebuild after that. But yeah, it's amazing to see Dave back on the podium, and yeah, really delighted for him, and Kevin Russo as well. To sort of race around there with Ben Birchall, you come into the race with an injury, and sort of you trying to step into Tom Birchall's shoes as sort of the most successful sidecar racer ever. So yeah, real well done to Kevin and all the physio team at the TT therapy group there that sort of helped him sort of rehabilitate and get him back out on the grid. But yeah, 120 mile an hour lap as well by the Crows, amazing.
Absolutely, we are ready for the podium.